everything he built, everything he fought for.
What twist can we expect from the X-Men finale? The first season wraps up with a spectacular ending, and there are some exciting clues about what might happen in the season 2. So, did you catch the thrilling end of Marvel's X-Men 97? The first season wrapped up on Wednesday with episode 10 on Disney+. This season has been full of excitement and surprises. In episode 9, tensions rose between Magneto and Professor Xavier because of growing anti-mutant feelings. This led Bastion's Sentinels to step in. Magneto was able to stop the transformed humans and then launched himself into space on an asteroid. But the fight between the old friends split the X-Men, causing them to fight both each other and Bastion. As the finale got closer, Professor X tried to stop Magneto with his mind powers, but it wasn't clear if he succeeded. At the same time, the X-Men had to defeat Bastion and find out if he had any backup plans. Now let's talk about the ending of episode 10 and what it might mean for the future of X-Men 97. If you haven't watched the finale yet, be careful not to spoil it for yourself. One of the most touching moments in the series happens when Scott and Madeline says goodbye to their baby Nathan. They sent him through a portal with Bishop. Nathan grows to be a Cable, a time-traveling hero who joins the fight against Bastion after the Genosha attack. In the finale, Magneto's asteroid M gets destroyed, and this seems to send the X-Men into different timelines. Jean Grey and Scott end up in the year 3960 AD. There, they meet a young Nathan and another person, Mother Ascani, who is actually Rachel Summers, their daughter according to the comic books. In a flashback, it is shown by Cable that Rachel was one of the mutants oppressed in Bastion's future. However, she becomes the founder of Clan Ascani, which saves young Nathan. Fans can expect to see more of her as part of the Summers family tree in season 2. While Jean Grey and Scott reunite unexpectedly in the future, Rogue, Nightcrawler, Beast, Magneto, and Xavier end up in ancient Egypt after a time shift. They fight off warriors and meet a mysterious figure named Insaba Nur. Apocalypse, also known as Insaba Nur, is familiar to Marvel fans. Before becoming the powerful mutant known as Apocalypse, he was a rebellious nomad forced to serve an Egyptian ruler. With regenerative powers, Insaba Nur survived many deaths and ages and has ties to the Celestial in Marvel lore. If you stayed long enough to watch the post-credits scene, you saw present-day Genosha in ruins. It starts with a hand reaching into the rubble and picking up a torn Queen of Hearts card. In the background, a voice says, "So much pain, my children, so much death." Although the character's full face isn't shown, his mouth is visible when he says these words. This powerful villain has a long history with the X-Men in comics and the Marvel Universe. He has appeared in various Marvel animated series and live-action films like X-Men Days of Future Past and X-Men Apocalypse. But let's talk about that playing card first. It belongs to Gambit, also known as Remy. The appearances of the card, along with Apocalypse's arrival, hints that Gambit might come back as the Horseman of Death. This was suggested earlier when Professor X had visions of Gambit in episode 6, where he turned into a skeletal-faced agent of death. In the comics, there is a storyline where Gambit falls under Apocalypse's control and becomes Death, one of his horsemen. He fights the X-Men with the goal of destroying them. This storyline might be explored in season 2. So, X-Men 97 season 1 is done, and it really has made an impression. The finale, Tolerance is Extinction, was actually a third-part event meant to be seen as a 90-minute special. Creator Bo DeMayo confirmed this online. Each of the 3 episodes stood out on their own. This is how the whole season has been. tight and well-paced. Unlike some Marvel TV shows, which often drag in the middle, X-Men 97 had no filler. Overall, X-Men 97 is a 5-star experience. This kind of realization doesn't usually come easily with animated shows. The finale wrapped up storylines that started in the first episode and even before in X-Men TAS, and did so without losing depth or simply trying to outdo previous events. The big question is always whether the finale of X-Men 97 is actually good. Without getting too carried away, 97 isn't just good, it achieves 3 main goals at once. It's a faithful and satisfying revival, full of nostalgia, but it's also a great show on its own. It's perfect for younger viewers who might want to go back and watch TAS, and it sets the bar so high for Marvel's live-action X-Men reboot that it'll be tough for whoever Kevin Feige picks to take on the project. While it might not be absolute best episode, Tolerance is Extinction Part 3 does everything you'd hope for in a finale. Not only it wraps up Bastion's storyline, but it also ties up several other plot lines that were brewing all season long. And of course, it leaves us eager for what's to come next. X-Men 97 Season 1 covered a lot of ground, touching on major X-Men storylines, with a climax being Tolerance on Extinction's take on Marvel's Fatal Attractions storyline. Battle between Magneto and Charles Xavier had moments that felt like they were straight out of the genre. It was a smart choice that went beyond just showcasing fan favorites. Anime has always been better at showing extreme emotions. There's a dedication to hyper-realism that exaggerates expressions and the tendency towards melodrama that fits perfectly with X-Men stories. After all, X-Men 97 is like Marvel's soap opera, focusing just as much on relationships between characters as it does on the next big threat to Earth. The show understands that perfectly, and the way the finale is resolved, especially with its use of subtext, proves that. Once again, the action sequences in the finale showed the value of animation. Without being restricted by CGI or real-life limitations, X-Men 97 could create epic-scale scenes. Making the giant sentinels feel less cartoonish was impressive, and the finale gave us some of the best fighting sequences in the X-Men franchise. In what now seems like a misguided decision to please investors, Bob Iger said Disney movies should prioritize entertainment over messages. However, X-Men 97 proves that entertainment and meaningful messages can go hand in hand without sacrificing one for the other. The finale wraps up some of the show's most daring and thought-provoking ideas, which would definitely be seen as messages by those who might try to use that against them. X-Men has always been about embracing outsiders, and X-Men 97 does that wonderfully. Should pay attention to. The character development was well done and satisfying, even for characters who have appeared in other X-Men media many times. Do share what you feel about the show in the comments below. Also, hit the like and subscribe button to show us some love.